This is 16 to 1, a podcast about education, teaching, and learning.
We're sitting on a rock on the shore of Jenny Lake
Yeah,
in the Grand Tetons.
we're in Grand Teton National Park.
It was very quiet until a boat took off,
There's a wake happening.
and now
It'll calm down in a second.
I'm fearing for everything. What's up?
What's up with you?
We're here.
It's a little windy.
It
Mike's
is.
probably picking it up. Oh, the wakes. Okay, it's almost quieted down.
Till the other boat
Until the
takes
other
off.
boat comes by.
Go quick.
So, forgive our recording quality this week and the background noise because we're recording this on the road. You can probably hear the waves splashing in the background.
Live from the national parks.
We're recording live from the national parks because we're doing this episode on the national parks.
Mm-hmm.
And we're on our summer vacation like many public school teachers in America. But we are very dedicated to our podcast, you know.
Apparently.
So,
Now there's another boat that just kicked on their engine, so our quiet
gosh.
little spot is not very cool. Uh-oh. I hope my iPad's okay.
yeah, it's good.
We're about to find out.
I'll go pick it up if it looks like.
Anyways, if this isn't as authentic as podcasting gets, then I don't know what is.
Yeah, we're doing an authentic cast.
I had to walk through rocks to get here.
We had to
water
wade
to my knees.
We had to wade through the shallows to get to this recording spot. But yes, so this is a live recorded in the wild 16 to 1 episode.
Yep. Here we are.
We're at Jenny Lake in Grand Teton National Park. We're talking about the national parks this week. We're going to record some of this from Grand Teton National Park and probably some of it from Yellowstone National Park. So yeah, this is a really beautiful scenery. We're going to post pictures along with the show notes this time. Because it's
Yeah, photos we
gorgeous.
took.
Yeah, photos we took this time. Anything you how
No,
are
it's
you
just so
feeling?
pretty.
It's so pretty. We don't have a lot to say because we just want to kind of stare.
It's just really beautiful, and the water is cool, and
There's a man
very clear.
paddleboarding right here.
yeah. Surprised he
Some
hasn't
kids
gone down
playing.
yet.
I kind of want to swim now.
I kind of want to swim, but I would regret it.
This is making me want to swim.
Every time someone swims, they all start breathing really hard because it's cold.
Yeah,
So I'm
it's
like,
very
good.
cold. Very cold mountain water.
So we're national parks, whatever they look like in your area. In Ohio, there aren't a lot other than actual homes.
Yeah.
Like our national parks are not so much parks as
Yep.
the Tetons and Yellowstone later.
We have a lot
today.
of state parks in our area in Ohio where we are, but not a lot of national parks. These are big chunks of territory where there's basically nothing.
Yeah.
We're kind of focusing on the national parks because as it is summer, a lot of families take this opportunity to do kind of non-traditional outdoorsy type of education. And national parks provide all kinds of opportunities like ecological and geological and historic, anthropological, all kinds of opportunities to study, and they also provide educators with a lot of resources, and we'll cover that a little bit later in the show. But yeah, for now it's just
as a trip though, this is great post-pandemic. If you're a little nervous,
Yeah.
this is where you do it.
Mhm.
If
you're
you
a
want to get
little-
out and do something and
if
travel,
you don't want to be around,
national parks are it.
Yes, they're very crowded right now. We've discovered this. We circled around forever to try to find a parking spot here at Jenny Lake, but it was totally worth it.
Well, and it's weird because here, I was a little put off because I was like, oh no, there's all these people. And then you get out here and there's no one. So
yeah, you just
don't
have to
be,
walk 500
deterred.
feet and then there aren't people.
Yeah, don't be deterred if you're feeling like they're super packed because it looks that way and then you get out here and there's literally
Yeah.
no one. So
Yeah.
it's cool.
So this is a super beautiful, it's a small lake at the base of, really close to Grand Teton.
Is that the Grand
I don't
Teton?
think that one right there is Grand Teton. I think it's behind this one is Grand Teton.
Minor Teton.
lesser Grand Teton.
Major Teton, minor Teton.
Minor Ursa.
Grand Teton.
Major and minor. It's like Teton.
We'll
major
post
and minor.
pictures.
Yeah, we'll post pictures.
It's really nice out, though. Yesterday, when we drove in, we stayed in Driggs, Idaho, and there was a storm had just blown over, so we could just barely see them.
Yeah, it's kind of cloudy, and today it's very
So
bright.
today I was a little nervous because I was like, oh man, I hope.
It's bright and sunny. There are a few puffy clouds, just enough to make it really pretty.
Yeah, not to rush this, but there's a boat, so we should probably wrap this up before we get
right.
washed out.
So anyway, well, like I said, this is a live episode that we're recording in the parks as we talk about the
Maybe
parks.
if we survive.
Yeah, we might get...
If our recording equipment survives another boat.
Yeah, we might get drowned by those boat wakes that are happening. But, so, we'll probably see you again from Yellowstone. This is just the intro. We actually have information.
Yellowstone will be a little bit easier to take care of.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
isn't this water boat issue to navigate.
Yeah, there are no boat wake issues, as far as I know.
And I don't plan on wading in water through my knees again at Yellowstone.
Very sorry about
Unless it's to hug a buffalo.
So, anyway, get ready for
Can I
this.
tell them about the bumper sticker I saw?
Oh, yeah, sure.
There was a sticker in one of the shops in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and it said, you can't take selfies with the fluffy cows?
Fluffy cows.
Yeah, and I wish I would have bought it. Okay, we have to go. The boat's coming.
Okay, boat's coming. We'll see you in just a bit.
Bye. When I tell you how many bugs I've already had on me, I'm alarmed.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Just pretend like...
You were in the outdoors?
Yeah.
It's fine?
Okay, and we're recording? Yes, we're recording. Okay. Okay, so
Oh boy.
we've picked back up. Where are we now?
We're in Yellowstone.
We're dipping our feet in a really warm,
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
You can. That's good. Too much.
splishing, splashing.
Too much.
We're dipping our feet in a really warm
Covered in bugs.
creek. Kate is very up close and personal with nature.
There's a dragonfly like right beside me.
It's really pretty blue dragonflies.
They are really pretty. But other than that, I've already had a lot of bugs on me, and I get bit very easily, so I'm sure that this will not end well for me. So what's up? You want to jump right
Well,
in?
yeah, we'll jump back in. So we started recording in Grand Teton National Park, and now we're in Yellowstone National Park because it's right up the road. We just drove by nature's butthole,
Yeah. We did.
or as I like to call the volcanic activity here,
all of it.
fart
Generally.
springs.
Yeah, fart springs.
It
So
smells
the
like
hot
that,
springs.
and for those of you who are really confused about why I'm saying that, it's because the hot springs smell like sulfur. But anyway, so yeah, this week we're talking about the national park system. This is a very popular thing. I think we were saying in the last section that we did, but this is a very popular thing, kind of off-season educational activity for families, especially with young kids, to do in the summers in the U.S. And because we were going to be driving through them, we just decided we were going to do a weird special episode where we were on the road.
We're here.
So we're filming, we're recording ourselves with our mobile rig, so you might hear a little bit of nature.
This family that's about to walk by.
Yeah, you might hear the nature of the family about to walk by us. We're not completely out of range of other humans, but here, let's let them go by. So you might not think of the national park system as being primarily an educational entity, but they kind of do consider themselves to be that. This is from the website for the NPS. It says that National Park Service, with its rich cultural resource programs, preserves the stories of all Americans reaching back to the Paleo Indians first setting foot in North America 12,000 years ago, leading up to our nation's present diverse and complex cultures.
Do you want me to do the history this time?
Oh yeah.
Or
How about
do I get to?
Why don't we mix it up and
Okay.
you can do the history this time.
All right, so brief history of
Yeah.
the national parks.
Yes.
So, in order to understand, obviously, this national park system's ecosystem, you have to go all the way back. This is exactly how Chelsea wrote it. Oh, look, it landed on me. Too close now. We were fine until you got on my face. Okay. So the very first national park was Yellowstone.
We're in it. We're in the very
it's the
first
little
national
one.
park
It's
in the world.
It is, yeah. It's located in the northwest corner of Wyoming and extending into Montana and Idaho.
We've been in every part of it now. So
We
we've been
have
in the
been,
Montana part. We
yeah.
drove through that to get down here. We were in the Idaho part for a while, and now we're in the Wyoming part.
So it was established by the U.S. Congress and signed into law by Ulysses S. Grant on March 4th, 1872. And so that was before Wyoming was even officially a state.
Yeah.
They did not become a state until 1890.
Yeah.
And
I thought that was wild.
Yeah.
So there's a national park before there was even a state here.
Which is kind of insane to think.
It is kind of wild. Yeah.
So because of that, there was no state government to manage Yellowstone in 1872. That's why the federal government assumed the control of the park. And so the national parks and national monuments in the U.S. are originally individually managed under the Department of the Interior. The movement for an independent agency to oversee these federal lands was spearheaded by businessman and conservationist Stephen Mather, as well as J. Horace McFarland.
Yeah. So the Department of the Interior, so like that was just, there weren't as many cabinet departments as there are now.
Yeah.
And these guys, Stephen Mather and Horace McFarland, and then also this journalist, his name is Robert Sterling Yard. The journalist, along with Mather, they ran a publicity campaign for the Department of the Interior, but they were kind of lobbying for an independently managed entity of the federal government to watch over national parks and
so that's
monuments.
what then kind of led the way for the National Park Service?
Yes. Yep.
Fly. Be gone.
There's a lot of nature.
Oh my gosh,
Katie's
there's
encountered.
so much nature on me. Okay, so that campaign, what Chelsea just talked about, resulted in the creation of the NPS as we know it now. So on August 25th, 1916, President Woodrow Wilson signed the National Park Service Organic Act that mandated the agency to conserve the scenery and the natural and historic objects and wildlife therein, and to provide for the enjoyment of the same in such manner and by such means as we leave them unimpaired for the enjoyment of future generations. And so Mather became the first director of that newly formed National Park Service, which we can just now call the NPS.
Yeah, the National Park Service. Yep.
So how does a place become a national park? What are the rules?
Oh, okay. So usually it happens, they're established by an act of Congress, and then the president confirms that act by signing it into law. There's this one kind of fun exception called the Antiquities Act that allows the president to designate and protect areas as national monuments by executive order. Not national parks, but national monuments. I'm not entirely sure what the difference is, but
yeah, there's going to be some interesting vocabulary probably there.
I had a fun fact about this. One of our favorite episodes
I just blew an ant on you. I'm so
Thank
sorry.
you. One of our favorite episodes of The West Wing has somebody's trying to drill in Big Sky Country for oil, and they're trying to figure out how to stop it, basically. And then somebody has the bright idea to use the Antiquities Act to designate Big Sky a national monument.
No, that's good.
To prevent drilling.
So you can't do that then?
Yeah, so that's a fun, I like that episode.
Honestly, national parks are one of the most well-protected areas of the United States.
Yes.
Like, if there's a secure place, it's a national park.
Yes.
It's kind of insane.
Yeah, there is like truly nothing that happens here except nature.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And people getting up close and personal with it. And our national parks are very crowded right now, I would say, because it's a good COVID-y way to still go do something or see something. And it's very beautiful. Yeah. So, anyway.
And also, we should just be wanting to support them anyways.
Yeah.
So this is a good time to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, that cloud right at the right moment.
Yeah, we're getting some shade now.
Whew.
In this warm river, we're dipping our toes into it as we record. So, we're very...
You can probably hear me splashing.
We're very in it. So there are a few criteria that a potential park should meet, and it has to meet all four of these standards, supposedly. One, it is an outstanding example of a particular type of resource.
Okay.
Here in Yellowstone, I would imagine that would be sulfuric earth smells.
One giant volcano that we're sitting in.
We're in a caldera that is probably going to explode sometime and destroy most of Earth. But that's neither here nor there. Number two...
We've talked about that before.
Yeah, we talked about that on the pod before, last summer, I think. Two, it possesses exceptional value or quality in illustrating or interpreting the natural or cultural themes of the nation's heritage.
Okay, I like.
Interesting, yeah. Three, it offers superlative opportunities for recreation. We are enjoying that right now. For public use and enjoyment or for scientific study. And four, it retains a high degree of integrity as a true,
I like this one.
accurate, and relatively unspoiled example of the resource.
Yeah.
It is definitely unspoiled out here.
Yeah, this is really untouched. It's great. Okay, so educating visitors in the park. So a lot of different types of learning can happen in these parks, obviously. It's historical, it's anthropological, it's ecological, it's geological. And so not only are there tons of private tours that are available at most of these parks, but many parks have visitor education centers and rangers who are well-versed in their respective parks' histories. So some examples here. Do you want to go back and forth and talk about?
Sure.
Okay, so I'll do Yellowstone's. Yeah. Obviously, the Canyon Visitor Education Center focuses on the geologic story of the area, including the Yellowstone caldera and the volcanic activity in the area. And also, when you drive around here, if you haven't been, there are rangers at a lot of the big geysers, and they can kind of tell you like, oh, you should expect it, you know, how often they go, things like that. Also, as soon as you drive in, you get a map and a newspaper about it.
From a ranger.
And we've seen actually a lot of rangers today at both the Tetons and here. We've seen quite a few. So I think that's one of the coolest things is that for people who are curious and want to, you know, there is hope. So even though there are these huge sprawling areas, you can always find someone, you know.
Definitely a lot of rangers available as resources, and they're very knowledgeable.
And also, if you're in one of these parks, look for the rangers because a lot of times they are near the animals.
It's true.
Because
they have to keep the dumb humans away.
So last year when we were here, we haven't seen much yet, but last year there were a couple times that there were rangers parked on the side of the road in between like an elk and us or whatever. And so
like, no, please
it's kind of a red flag.
Do not pet the deer.
Yeah.
Do not pet the elk.
I would say that if you are visiting one, especially out west, definitely see where they are if they're not at like a post, because they're probably standing there for a reason.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Okay, so the other one, and we were here earlier today, the Coulter Bay Visitor Center in Grand Teton National Park. It's home to what's called the David T. Vernon Indian Artifacts Collection. The exhibit celebrates Indian artwork and educates on the long human history of humans in and around Jackson Hole. Huh. Yeah.
All right, so another one is the Wolf Creek Education Center in the Redwood National and State Parks, and it provides curriculum-based environmental education programs for students. And I did some of the southern redwoods when I was in California, and same thing there. They stand there and they can tell you how old they are. And, it's just so cool.
Yeah, so that program focuses a lot on ecology. Then there's another one, the Clara Barton National Historic Site. This one commemorates the life of Clara Barton, the founder of the American Red Cross. I have not been there.
Yeah, I've been there.
And then this home, the Clara Barton site, the home served as the first headquarters
that's what she used.
of the Red Cross.
Okay, and the last one on this list of millions, literally, at Gettysburg, one of my favorite parks, daily ranger led hikes, walks, and talks explore the people and places that made history at Gettysburg. And all programs are free and open to the public. And also, one of my favorite things about Gettysburg is they'll do a hop-on tour with you. So you can have a ranger come in your car with you.
That would be pretty cool.
And drive around with you and kind of tell you where to go.
I wish I could abduct a ranger to take me around Yellowstone. Like, that's kind of what I want to do.
The ones in Gettysburg, I was like, there was so much. I just like tried to be the best sponge that I could, but it was so hard because they're so smart.
Well, it's very dense. When you go on these tours, you learn a lot in a very small amount of time. We've done private tours of Yellowstone with just like guides because it's you know, it's so big, there are only so many park rangers. So like we've done, when my extended family has come out, we've all like go together with one guide out here, but we've learned so much about the ecosystem out here and like reintroducing previously extinct, you know, animals and species or whatever for the area, and like how they're trying to balance everything out here. It's a very careful dance.
I was reading about the wolves on our drive.
Yeah. They reintroduced wolves in like, what did you say, 95 or 96 or something?
95 through 97. They introduced 41.
41
and
wolves.
It's like one of the most hotly debated things of all time in conservation science now.
Yeah. The conservation of wolves does not make farmers happy, but the destruction of wolf populations does not make conservationists happy. So here we go.
The wolves are hard to please.
Yeah.
All right, so also the NPS has a thing called Every Kid Outdoors, and it's where the U.S. fourth graders get free park entrance passes, get until August 31st of their fourth grade school year. Sorry about that. And the pass admits all children under 16 and up to 3 adults for free. And I've had a lot of friends use this with their kids.
This is really cool. Yeah. So basically, for most families, your whole family can get into a park for free if you have a fourth grader in your household.
Yeah. And you just take turns.
Yeah.
You got more than one.
Yeah. You just... that's a really pretty cool program. The point there is to kind of get kids into nature.
And that's a great age to have them out here too.
Yeah. So that was probably around the time when I was doing my heaviest family exploration of the national park system. Yeah. We used to growing up, we just did road trips where it was just like, okay, everybody pile in the car, pack all the tent and camping stuff, and we're gonna go to every national park between here and forever from now. So it's a good age to do that for sure. Yeah.
So in addition to educating visitors, the NPS also offers all kinds of resources to educators. From their website, the National Park Service offers tools for teachers of all levels and students of all ages to teach and learn about history, historic preservation, and American heritage and culture. They offer collections of classroom lesson plans, professional development opportunities, college-level historic preservation course outlines, toolkits for grassroots and professional preservationists, and more. And we will include the link in the show notes for lesson plans for teachers from the nps.gov website.
Yeah.
They have so much stuff. It
It's a
basically
lot.
does it for you.
It's super dense.
overwhelming. Yeah.
I mean, they'll help you plan trips if you happen to be close to one of
Yeah.
these national parks, but they'll also help you do like in classroom stuff to learn about national parks.
Yeah, and we're talking
history.
about national parks in terms of like the West and these, but like this also goes for historic sites as well. Like we should be like celebrating and supporting these places. So us in Ohio, man, we've got a lot of presidents' houses that are on this registry.
Yes.
That are taken care of by ranger. You know, like it's not just these sprawling, beautiful westward things. It's also Clary Barton's house and things like that. So
Stuff that's a little
they are
closer to
all
us.
over.
They're everywhere. They're everywhere.
Support them.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say about the national parks?
No, I mean, I just say
We'll do another episode on some of the problematic histories of.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Like when we were talking about the founding of Yellowstone, how it predated Wyoming's statehood. It just that there were people here first.
There were, yes.
is the main point. But I think we'll go a little deeper into that.
We'll talk about kind of how that all worked out.
Yeah, but I think that some of these parks are trying to do some justice to those histories now.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think they're becoming better over time at acknowledging some of that stuff.
It's not great though.
But yeah, there's a lot of like
especially if we talk about
westward
Mount
expansion
Rushmore.
stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of westward expansion stuff kind of happening all out here. It kind of reminds me of our very first Oregon Trail episode, honestly. But
so we don't want you to think that we're not aware of it. We are very aware of it, but it's also going to take us a lot more research to make sure that we tell an accurate story, and we want to make sure that we do it justice. And also, since we were able to travel here and be lucky enough to spend a day here, we thought we'd share it.
Yeah. So this is kind of a special episode. It's a little shorter, obviously, but we are doing it live from the park with our mobile rig. So like, I think I mentioned the first one, but apologies for the sound quality and the background noise because we're in it. We're in the thick of it.
There's like a family. I'm like, we got our bear spray sitting here.
We do. We're sitting here with our bear spray.
We're just ready in case. We can't run.
We cannot.
We don't run if a bear comes.
No, you
we
just
start
walk.
Screaming.
Yeah, you make noise and you flap around and make yourself look bigger than you are.
So I'm gonna let Chelsea go behind me because she's got longer limbs, and I'm gonna
and the bear spray.
No, I'm just kidding. So, oh gosh, yeah, man, if you're gonna come out here, do some homework because it's a whole other world.
It is,
especially for us.
There's a lot to see too. There's a lot to see.
Yeah,
and it's very, very beautiful.
All right.
Okay, you want to do fill in the blank?
Yeah, I will. All right, so last episode's question. In 2013, Donald Trump made a series of tweets in which he referred to this whistleblower as a traitor, saying he gave, quote, serious information to China and Russia, quote, and should be executed. Later that year, he added the caveat, tweeting, quote, if it and he could reveal Obama's birth records, I might become a major fan, end quote. Who was that former CIA worker?
Who was it?
Edward Snowden.
Snowden.
Yes.
Where is he now? Is he in Russia
He's
still
still
or
hiding
something?
in Russia, and I think his wife is pregnant or already gave birth or something.
Oh, interesting.
Like that. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, your turn.
Okay, so this episode's question.
This is an interesting one.
Yeah. Approximately how many acres in total are encompassed by the national park system in the United States? It's a lot. And I'll just give you a clue. That's that 2.6 million of those acres remain in private ownership, even though they're a part of the national park system.
Oof.
So yeah, how many acres approximately?
Just think about that
in the
round
NPS
up.
system.
A lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Okay.
Okay, what'd you learn this week?
Okay, so from, I don't know how we're going to splice this all together, but the Grand Teton part of this episode, I jokingly was naming the Tetons incorrectly, of course.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so there is there's the Grand Teton, which is the big guy. The guy to his left, or lady, is the middle Teton.
The middle Teton, so original.
And then the furthest left of the three is the South Teton.
So I think you said the big and the little, the major and minor.
I said the major and the minor and something else.
But you were pretty close.
Grand, major, anything. So they're actually named the Grand,
the middle,
and the South.
Wow.
Teton.
Okay.
But I still don't know why they got Teton, so I need to do that research. But we have no cell service here.
Yeah, we've been trying to look things up all day.
Oh
yeah, we should tell that part. We had to stop at where was it? So it was
Coulter Bay.
It was right after Coulter Bay.
Yeah.
It was like whatever it was. It was one of the lodges right near Coulter Bay.
We went in.
The Tetons.
Totally acted like we were definitely staying.
We
there.
acted like we totally knew our way around. We walked in and we connected to the Wi-Fi.
We drove under the little awning and we were like, oh, there's Wi-Fi. So we drug our bag inside. We did shop. We bought something. So we earned our keep.
We
dragged
our bags
inside
in
long enough to make our dock available offline.
It didn't occur to us to download the show notes to our
we
phones.
also had service until we got into, and I didn't think we would in all of Idaho, but we did. Mm-hmm. So then we got there, we were like, So that's why I did do it in
So
two
we had
parts.
to sneak into the lodge, download our show notes, and then come back out.
It was iffy.
And then drive
it.
here, and now we're here.
So in addition, just do more homework because you're never as ready as you think you are. And we're the ones sitting here with bear spray.
It's true.
The other thing I was going to mention is that the deer are different in Montana. So they also, they do have white-tailed deer, which is what we are familiar with in Ohio. That's like our standard, right? They have what are called mule deer here. Mm-hmm. And they're like a darker brown, and they're a little bit bigger.
Their faces are differently shaped.
They're cuter.
And their ears stick out more.
Yeah, I think
they
they're
are. They are
cuter.
cute.
But they're also
cute.
just like hardier. They're like more, like Ohio deer don't have to suffer much, but these deer out here really go through it. So
yeah, you got to fight for your food out here a little more, I think.
all right,
More
what'd you
competition.
learn? Oh gosh, the dragonflies are getting bigger.
Dragonfly check-in. They're getting larger.
Time to go.
What I learned.
Bye.
This is actually something that I relearned. I knew it, but I forgot it. So we had to install a new garbage disposal in our house because when they start leaking out the bottom, just so you know, in case you want to do a little DIY plumbing, if your garbage disposal starts leaking out the bottom of it, that means that the internal seals of it are probably shot and that you're going to need to get a new one. So that started happening to us. So I went and got a new garbage disposal. I installed it, and then Kate ran the dishwasher, and the dishwasher wasn't draining. And I knew this from before because I also installed a dishwasher in my previous apartment, and I did the same thing there and forgot about it when I did this one. But garbage disposals,
we will remember next time.
There's a little place where you plug in if you happen to have a dishwasher, you plug in the wastewater from the dishwasher and it goes into the tank of your garbage disposal before it drains out. And so there's a little plastic plug in there that you have to like knock out like with something pointy, basically like chisel it out kind of, because it's just plastic melted in there. It's in there because if you don't have a dishwasher, you want to keep your garbage disposal sealed off so you don't get gross fumes and leaks and stuff like that. So it makes sense that there is one there, but I just always forget that there is one there. So you gotta like bang it out. So we had to
also
uninstall
learned as
the
we had
garbage.
3 people at our front door.
Oh my gosh.
To, like,
we were
have
hosting
dinner.
people for dinner and they showed up and I'm like under the sink banging on a garbage disposal. So we're gonna definitely remember that time. But yeah, I relearned that for
it's
this
good
time.
to always be learning, you know?
Always be learning.
I have suffered enough bugs.
I
am getting swarmed.
We are going to leave nature now.
We're going back to the car. We're going to go find some bison.
Yeah.
And we're probably going to head home.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us for this very special, a little bit shorter, different, in nature episode of 16 to 1.
In nature. Maybe our last ever in nature.
Last
based
ever
on the
in
bug bites on
nature.
my legs.
It is a little difficult to record here.
I also heard a noise while you were just talking, and I like turned my head so fast because I was like, "Oh, this is it, the bear."
It wasn't a bear.
Dude. It was a
yeah,
dude.
it's a human.
But he wasn't that close to me, and I was like, "Oh, here they come."
She's keeping a watchful ear. All right. So anyway, thank you for joining us.
We'll see you next time. Back on the inside.
Back on the inside. Bye. Thanks for supporting 16 to 1.
We're trying to grow our audience, so please check us out at 16to1.com, all spelled out, and tell your friends about the show.
On our website, you can find links to follow us on social media, an archive of all our old episodes, and a contact form where you can get in touch.
Thanks again for listening, and we'll catch you next show.